Hello everybody, I am the Wandering NPC and today I am attempting my first ever Pokemon challenge, Pokemon Fire Red with only one Eevee. I've been doing Pokemon challenges in my free time, but I never actually recorded one before now. I've been watching guys like JRose11 and Madrybred do them for years and they always seemed fun. Now that I started my own YouTube channel, I figured I'd give these a try, although I am not planning on becoming a PokeTuber anytime soon. Anyway, I decided to use Eevee since it's my personal favorite Pokemon alongside Crobat. Back in I think 98 or 99, I had one on my first ever team on Pokemon Red. I ended up turning it into Jolteon and beating the league with it. No evolution this time though, only Eevee and Fire Red instead of Red. Eevee's stats are really not that great. It only has 325 BST, the best of which is special defense at 65. We're a better physical attacker, which works out because our best moves are physical, but it's not like it's got great attack or anything. As for moveset, there isn't much that I want actually. It's not a great moveset, but there are some decent options. I think my final moveset will be Return, Bite, Dig, and Shadow Ball. Iron Tail is an option, but although it's strong, I don't like the accuracy. I know Bite is a special move in this gen, but I really don't see much of an alternative. I don't like cheesing fights with Double Team, but it may end up being a last resort option. With that out of the way, let's get started. Here are the rules. In battle, I can only use one Eevee. I can use other Pokemon for HM, no items in battle except for held items. If you want to see more of these videos, let me know down in the comment section. Heck, feel free to recommend a run if you want. I use the randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Eevee. No real reason why, we take neutral damage from whatever starter our opponent chooses. Bulbasaur just happened to be the first option I saw. I restarted a few times just so I can get an Eevee with an adamant nature, which means higher attack, lower special attack, which I think will make the difference, especially since I don't train effort values. Our ability is Runaway, which is pretty useless, but Eevee doesn't get adaptability until Gen 4, so we have to make do. The first rival fight was very easy, we just spam tackle until we won. We do have an advantage here due to the fact that we get stabbed from tackle and we have a positive attack nature, so we were never in any trouble. Next we went through Viridian Forest where we had no trouble. I didn't even need to go back to heal once because for the first time, probably ever, I did not get poisoned by Weedle. The Rock Gym is coming up and I think this will be tough. We are level 10 and the only damaging move we have at this point is Tackle. I will try it, but I think I need to grind until at least level 23 when we get Quick Attack. I think I'll start off by using Sand Attack a few times and dropping accuracy, and then spam tackle and hope for the best. Let's get a couple of attempts in before I have to grind. Okay, so I tested the strategy against the trainer before Brock. I managed to get 3 Sand Attacks in, and he did miss tackle a bunch, but we were just not doing enough damage other than a crit at the beginning. On top of that, we missed 2 tackles in a row towards the end. Even though we got him down to red health, we still lost. Yeah, tackle is not 100% accurate in this game for some reason. We have to grind, no choice. I'll get Eevee to level 15 and I'll try again, although I am not that optimistic quite yet. Level 15, and even though I got 6 Sand Attacks in and he missed a bunch, we still lost. I got him down to red health and all I needed was one lousy crit, but of course it doesn't happen. The issue is while we do 1 damage per hit, he does 5. If I can somehow reduce that to just 3 damage, I do think I can beat him. We'll try again at level 17. I do think we are a couple of hits away from beating Geodude, and Sandshrew should be no problem, but I am worried about Brock since he has a Geodude and Onix. This is going to be rough. Level 17 and I come in with another strategy. Once again, I get 6 Sand Attacks in and it works like a charm as he barely hits us during the battle. This time I end up using Growl to lower his attack 3 times and it worked really well. Even if they did hit me, they didn't do much damage, and with a bit of patience, and a huge crit to get him to yellow health, I managed to chip away with tackle until he went down. Next was Sandshrew, and this was very annoying as he gave me a taste of my own medicine. He used Sand Attack multiple times, dropped my accuracy to the point where I missed tackle like maybe 10 times in a row before I finally got the finishing hit in. Yeah, this was infuriating and made me think that maybe we are not ready for Brock just yet. I'll try the battle once or twice, but I think we need Quick Attack because Tackle just won't have enough PP to do the job. So I tried Brock at level 17 and it was really annoying because I Sand Attacked Geodude 6 times and yet he hits me multiple times. He would hit me more than he would miss even though I reduced his accuracy all the way. Meanwhile, I get hit by Sand Attack a couple of times and I miss 10 tackles in a row. I beat Geodude, but I did not have enough health to beat Onix. Even though I tried the same strategy, the very second Onix used Bind, I knew we were doomed. I need more HP. I'll grind until level 20. Hopefully, we will have enough HP left and with a bit of luck, we can take down Onix. Level 20, and this time we beat Geodude with more health remaining. I used the same exact strategy and won with 40 HP remaining. As for Onix, I start off using Sand Attack 3 times, followed by Tail Whip to lower his physical defense. If you're wondering why I never use Tail Whip on Geodude, it's because he just uses Defense Curl and it's a waste of time. Onix's physical stat isn't actually that great, having less attack than Oddish, but it actually got very close. It hit us with a couple of Rock Tombs despite having accuracy lowered until we were slower than him. The second one actually crit us and took us down to 20 HP. From that moment on, we exchanged tackles with Onix missing just enough. I thought we were doomed when he used Bind, but we got a clutch crit that finished the fight and took down Onix. I am so glad that it's over. Although I beat Brock at level 20 isn't actually that bad, I think our positive attack nature made the difference. Okay, so the water gym with Misty is coming up and I am honestly not sure how that will go. We should have quick attack by then, so outspeeding Starmie shouldn't be an issue. I think it'll just come down to being at a level where we hit hard enough. I think I might try the rival battle first and the trainers north of Cerulean just to gain a couple more levels and reduce grinding. We'll see. The rival fight was incredibly easy. He barely hit us a couple of times and all we had to do was spam quick attack for an easy battle. I'll go through the trainers north of Cerulean, gain a few levels, then I'll try Misty. I don't think it'll be too bad. While facing off against the trainers, I got a glimpse of where the main challenges will come from during this run. For starters, even though we're doing more damage against rock types, it's still not enough. As you can see, I almost fainted to a random hiker, but I got a lucky crit, meaning somehow I did not wipe out. Another issue is abilities like Poison Point. Quick Attack and Tackle are contact moves, so they trigger the ability in battle and poison Eevee. The third issue is Intimidate, which immediately lowers our attack by 1 stage. Honestly, there is no way around this, I'll just have to brute strength my way through those fights. Agatha and Lance are gonna be nightmares, aren't they? As for the final issue, we are just not tanky enough. Fighting types are gonna be a pain to deal with. I think those fights will come down to either one-shotting them or being one-shot. Anyway, Misty is next, we're level 28, let's see how this goes for now. Well, that was really easy. She didn't hit us once. Thanks to Secret Power, we just one-shot Staryu, which we had a 10 level advantage over. As for Starmie, we hit her with Secret Power for half her health, paralyzed her, she stayed paralyzed immediately, we just hit another Secret Power for the win. That went way better than I was expecting. It's probably because we had to be over leveled to beat Brock to begin with. Anyway, on to the SSN rival fight and then Lieutenant Surge. For once, I think I can skip trainers on the way because we are at a decent level. I went straight to the SSN rival fight and it was really easy because we were over leveled. He started with Pidgeotto and used Quick Attack for little damage. I used Secret Power, followed by my own Quick Attack to take it down. Next was Raticate, who was a one-shot with Secret Power, followed by Kadabra, who was a one-shot with Secret Power. Then we learned Bite, which will be useful for ghost types later in the run. Finally was Charmeleon. We hit him with Dig to bring him to red, and then the next turn he just used Growl. We used Quick Attack for the easy win, suffering only 8 damage the entire fight. Let's see how Lieutenant Surge goes. Okay, so the Lieutenant Surge fight was somehow even easier. I thought we were gonna sweep with Dig, but his Righteous survived with red health, then used Thunder Wave. We used our health Cherry Berry to cure paralysis, then I used Quick Attack forgetting that he had a potion. It's fine though, one more Dig did the job. We got through that with no damage. Our next major fight will either be the Grass Gym or the Rocket Hideout. I think I'll try the Grass Gym because we should be at a decent enough level for it. I think Vileplume will be the only one to give us trouble because it's a bit bulky, but we should be fine. On the way, I want to grab the TM for return, which with maximum happiness should give us around 102 damage with no drawbacks, which with Stab should amount to around 153 attack, which is insane. With our nature, we should be able to do some great damage in the upcoming fights. I do want Shadow Ball down the line, which you can get from the game corner, but it costs a lot of coins, so I might just leave it until the Elite Four since I really only need it for Agatha. Okay, so I completely forgot that there was a Pokemon Tower rival fight. It was the first time win, but it was really close, mostly because of one Pokemon, Gyarados. Pidgeotto was a 2-shot with Secret Power. Gyarados came out and dropped our attack because of Intimidate. I tried Bite, but it didn't do much damage. Even with the attack drops, Secret Power was doing so much more. Gyarados hit us with Thrash and did decent enough damage considering we had a 13 level gap. The first Secret Power actually paralyzed him, but it didn't matter. He used Thrash again. Another Secret Power knocked him out, raising us to level 36. Execute was an easy one-shot with Bite. Kadabra was a one-shot with Secret Power. His last Pokemon was Charmeleon. I used Dig knowing it was super effective, and it brought him down to just under half health. He used Ember to bring us down to just 11 HP. But one more Dig was enough for the win. That was closer than I thought. I'm gonna grab the TM for return and replace Quick Attack. Priority moves are nice, but with just 40 damage it's not gonna be very useful, especially if we can outspeed a lot of Pokemon anyway. Let's try the Grass Gym next. So we start off using Return against Victory Bell to bring her down to just under half health. Unfortunately, she used Stun Spore, which paralyzed us. She did decent damage with Giga Drain, but even with the gained health, a critical return did the job. Next was Tangela, and she started off with Ingrain. I used Return for some good damage, but of course it healed with Ingrain and Giga Drain. It didn't matter though, one more return was enough. We gained a level as Vileplume came out, and we were still not in the best shape. She hit us with Giga Drain, bringing us down to yellow health, and we retaliated with Return. She used another Giga Drain to bring us down to just 10 HP. I was sure we were doomed, but we broke through paralysis again and did one more return to finish the job. We had some crazy luck there. If Tangela actually hit us the first time instead of using Ingrain, we would have lost. Heck, I'm shocked we didn't get fully paralyzed even once. Anyway, on to Giovanni. Giovanni was easy as I expected. He started with Onyx and I used Dig to do some decent damage, although he used Harden a couple of times, which means I was forced to switch to Bite. Luckily, we got the flinch and used one more Bite to finish him off. Next was Rhyhorn. We go back to using Dig to bring him down to yellow health. He hit us with a weak Fury attack for like 9 damage in total, so we used another Dig to finish him off. Last was Kangaskhan. He started with Fake Out to make us flinch, but it didn't do much damage. I hit him with Return for about half health, he used Bite, and I just hit one more Return for the win. Now I have a choice to make. Obviously I have to finish the Pokemon Tower, but then the game opens up and I can fight either Koga or Sabrina. I think Sabrina will be easier because her Alakazam is physically frail. Yeah, I think I'll fight Sabrina first, then Koga once I've gained a few levels, because Koga's Pokemon are either bulky or just straight up explode. I need to be at a higher level to deal with that. First though, I need to go through Silphco, the rival fight, and Giovanni. We should get some levels there, but hopefully nothing that'll make us too overleveled quite yet. I want to try to beat this game at the lowest level possible. Silphco rival fight first, and this is usually a difficult one. Pidgeot was no issue. We just beat him with a couple of returns, although we took a chunk of damage from wing attack. Next is Gyarados, and this is where the problems start. Intimidate lowers our attack for the rest of the fight, and it shows. I hit 3 returns to knock him out, but we are already at half health. He brings out Charizard next. We hit return for about a quarter of his health. He finishes off with Flamethrower. It has been a while since we lost a fight. The levels have finally caught up to us. I'll clear out the trainers in Silphco and try again. We are back at level 50. Pidgeot was the exact same, 2 returns for the knockout, and we got hit by wing attack. Once again, next was Gyarados with Intimidate. I hit him with return and he just uses Leer. Another return does the job. However, next is Charizard. We outspeed, but return still isn't doing that much. He uses Scary Face to make us slower, then follows it up with a smoke screen. He hits us with a flamethrower that takes us down to just 5 HP, and we take him out with return. Unfortunately, Execute is next, and Bite is only a 2-shot, meaning all he had to do was hit Confusion, and we lose. I think I need to be around level 60 to win this fight. You know what? Let's try Koga instead. At our level, we might be able to narrowly win. We reach Koga at level 52 and overpower his first coughing with return. He brings out Muk second, and return brings him down to yellow health. I was worried he was going to hit us hard, but instead he just uses acid armor, so we use another return for the win. Second coughing was a one-shot with return, but last was wheezing. We started off using return for about half his health, and he retaliated with sludge for a good chunk of damage. I use another return thinking we win, but he survives with what must have been 1 HP. He hit us with sludge to bring us to half health and poison us, but our health Pecha Berry cures us immediately. I knew I had to change strategies since he was going to heal this turn, so I gambled with Secret Power hoping for a paralysis, and I get it. I knew he had another full heal and 1 more Hyper Potion, so I hit Secret Power while he used full heal to bring him down to yellow health just outside of healing range. Then I hit return for the finish. It got a bit nervy towards the end there, but not a bad first try. Let's see how we do against the rival fight again. I tried this so many times. This is how a typical attempt goes. We hit Pidgeot with return, bring it down to yellow. It hits us with wing attack, and we knock it out the next turn. Gyarados comes out and lowers our attack. Return takes them down to half health, and he uses Bite, and a second return gives me the win. Charizard comes out, I hit return, he uses Scary Face to slow me down. He then used Flamethrower the next turn for huge damage. If we got lucky, we crit to knock him out, only to lose to Executor, either through Sleep Powder or Stun Spore and Confusion. I had a feeling I could win though, so I kept trying. About 10 tries later, things start off the same as usual, with Pidgeot being 2-shot with return. Gyarados comes out, and this time hits us with Dragon Rage instead of Bite for some reason, as we 2-shot it with return. Next comes Charizard, and this is where things get crazy. I hit him with Secret Power hoping for paralysis so that even if it lowers our speed, it won't matter much. I didn't get the paralysis, but it didn't matter. Charizard missed Scary Face twice. I just hit 2 returns to knock it out without getting hit by Flamethrower for the first time. Execute comes out, I go for a return since Bite was doing less damage even with the attack drop, and then he misses Stun Spore. The AI just missed 3 moves in a row. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. We just hit a second return for the knockout. Last was Alakazam, and we outsped and one-shot him with return. Finally, we can move on to Giovanni. This was our first brick wall since Brock, by the way. Yeah, Giovanni did not go well. It started off okay with us one-shotting Nidoran, but it went downhill from there. Nidoqueen came out, we hit return to bring it down to half health, we get poisoned by Poison Point, and then he hits us hard with Double Kick. A second return defeats Nidoqueen, but we could not get past Kangaskhan. It starts off by using Fake Out to make us flinch, and then Poison inflicts more damage on us. Return was only a 2-shot, and it finishes off. I will try this again a few times, it might still be possible with a bit of luck. Attempt number 3, and once again we one-shot Nidoran. Next is Nidoqueen, and we start off using Return to bring it down to half health, and it hits us with a Body Slam. We finish it off with another Return, but Poison Point kicked in, and we got poisoned for the 3rd time in a row against Giovanni. Next was Kangaskhan, and for the first time it did not use Fake Out. It just used Tail Whip in the second turn for an easy 2-shot, although poison damage was building up. Rhyhorn was last, and I used Bite hoping for a flinch, and I got it. We used Bite again to bring it down to red health, but no flinch this time. Rhyhorn hit us with 2 Rock Blast, and poison damage finishes off. I know we can do this. I'm gonna keep trying. I don't want to overlevel quite yet. Literally next attempt. Nidoran is a 1-shot as always. Nidoqueen was a 2-shot again, and this time it just used Tail Whip. We were at full health until Poison Point activated. That's 4 poisoned in 4 fight, by the way. As always, Kangaskhan is 3rd, and again it did not use Fake Out, so we just 2-shot it with Return, and just like Nidoqueen, all it used was Tail Whip, so we knocked it out. Although I am worried about our lower defense. Last was Rhyhorn, and I wanted to use Bite, but I accidentally used Return. Whoops. As you'd expect, it did not do very much damage, and then it hits us with Stomp, meaning we are in trouble. I used Bite again, and I needed to flinch or we're done for. I use Bite, we do not get the flinch, and it uses Scary Face for some reason. With Poison, we go down to just 10 HP. I need to hope that we outspeed, which we do, and Bite knocks out Rhyhorn for the win. That wasn't so bad. I mean, last fight took 10 attempts, this one only took 4. We won because Giovanni was a moron towards the end, not attacking us to finish the fight. Either way, finally, it's on to Sabrina. Okay, first attempt. Kadabra was a 1-shot with Return. Mr. Mime was a weird one, and I am not talking about his appearance. I started off with Bite, hoping to get a flinch because I did not want it setting up screens. I used a second Bite to try to finish it off, but it survived with like 1 HP. We did somehow get a second flinch though. Sabrina used a Hyper Potion, we used Bite again to bring it down to low HP, and then we finish it off with Return. The rest of her team was a 1-shot with Return. This was so easy. We didn't take any damage. I wonder how Blaine will go. This did not start off so well. We immediately lose attack because of Intimidate, which is annoying. I try Dig since it's super effective and brings him down to a sliver. It hits us with Fire Blast for big damage. Blaine uses a Hyper Potion, and I try Secret Power, which paralyzed him. A second Secret Power did the job. Next is Ponyta. I hit Return, and it survives with just about 1 HP. It hits us with Fire Blast to bring us down to low health. Blaine uses Hyper Potion. I use Secret Power to bring him down to half, then finish off Ponyta with Return. Next was Rapidash. I immediately used Return, which was a 2-shot. Luckily, it missed Fire Blast, so we took it out. Last was Arcanine, and we lost very quickly. A second Intimidate lowers our attack again, and we do nothing with Return, and it finishes off with Fire Blast. Let me top off just 2 levels and try this again. Level 57, and no matter what I do, I can't seem to beat Arcanine at this level. Let me show you how the closest attempt went. We reached him with 101 HP, our highest so far, and I tried using Secret Power to get Paralysis, but it didn't work. he hits us with a devastating Fire Blast that brings us down to 18 HP. I used Bite, he got us a flinch, then we lucked out again and he missed Fire Blast. I used Bite and we got another flinch. I thought we were safe to go for Dig, but it turned out we were in Hyper Potion range. Dig hit for huge damage because of crit, but our luck ran out and he finishes off. That was so close. You know what? Our effort values must be maxed out by now. I'll try it a few more times. If it does not work, I'll hack in some rare candies and just bring us up to level 60. We are so close, I know it. Just a couple more tries before leveling up. Attempt number 21 in total. No matter what I did, I'd always end up getting beat down by Arcanine the same way until this attempt. I start off with Secret Power, hoping it would paralyze Arcanine. A crit brought him down to what must have been 1 HP, and we got the paralysis. What happened next? It hit us with Fire Blast, bringing us down to 12 HP. We finish it off with Return after it used full heal. It's a good thing I got to waste this potion on Rapidash earlier. Either way, I am finally done with this awful fight. Let's move on to Giovanni. I am not sure how that will go. This is how the first attempt went. It started off with Bite to bring Rhyhorn down to half health, and we got a flinch. One more Bite took him down. Next is Nidoqueen, and I opt for Return instead of Dig because of Earthquake. We bring him down to yellow health and take damage in the process before taking him out. Nidoking comes out, I use Return to bring him down to red health, and he uses Earthquake again. We got poisoned because of Poison Point, which we cured with a Pecha Berry. He used a Hyper Potion, and we got a critical hit Return to take him down, but we unfortunately got poisoned again. Dugtrio was an easy one-shot with Return, and last was a level 50 Rhyhorn, but poison damage got us down to just 24 HP. Used Bite for less than half, and got taken out by Earthquake. I think it might still be possible at this level. Let's try a few times. If it does not work out, I'll use rare candies. Okay, 7 attempts later, and at the same level, it starts off well again. Like before, we use Bite to get a flinch, and then a second one to finish the job. Nidoqueen is next, and Return brings it down to yellow health. We get poisoned, our health Pecha Berry cures us before getting hit by Earthquake. Second Return takes it out, and we didn't get poisoned again for the rest of the fight. For Nidoking, I decided to try a different strategy, opening with Secret Power, and it was only at this stage that I learned Secret Power, despite looking like it's doing actual physical damage, is not a contact move. Why didn't I look this up when I was fighting Giovanni at Silphco? It means we can use Secret Power without the risk of being poisoned for Poison Point. Anyway, we took it out, and Dugtrio was an easy one-shot. Last was the level 50 Rhyhorn. We start with Bite, and again got a flinch. I didn't want him to enter healing range, so I used Secret Power. He used Scary Face, and then we used a second Bite for the win. 8 attempts in total is not too bad. We can't rest just yet, because next is the pre-elite for rival fight. This is how a typical attempt goes. We 2-shot Pidgeot while getting hurt by Wing Attack. There is a damage range, but we can usually 2-shot Rhyhorn with Bite. Execute comes out, and this is where it starts to go bad because it never seems to miss Stun Spore. We still take it out, but without our speed, we are at a major disadvantage. We could normally beat Alakazam because for some reason, it never tries to hit us. We face Gyarados with Intimidate, and this is where we always lose. We can never seem to get lucky enough. No matter what we do, it always ends up beating us with 1 or 2 Hydro Pumps. You know what? I have an idea that I think could make the difference. I will grab Shadow Ball and check if Eevee learns Substitute, and I'll try this again. So this took a few tries to pull off. We defeated Pidgeot as normal, but Rhyhorn was the real challenge. Normally, we could two-shot it with Bite, but I removed Bite for Substitute and Dig for Shadow Ball. It took some tries and some paralysis luck, and we chipped away at his HP until we took him down. In this attempt, I finally have just enough HP to pull it off. Next is Execute, and this is where our master plan begins. I immediately use Substitute, knowing that the AI is going to go for Stun Spore, and well, you cannot Stun Spore a Substitute. With a couple of attacks and a moment of stupidity by the AI, we managed to take it down with no issues. Alakazam is a one-shot with return as always. Next was Gyarados, and this is also why I set up a substitute. Intimidate does not work on it. We had our full attack, and we end up critting return for a one-shot anyway. This game really has one hell of a sense of humor. Next was Charizard. Although he took out our substitute, it didn't matter. We just hit 2 returns for the win. Awesome. I think substitute will really work out in the long run. Next is the Elite Four, of course, and I am genuinely clueless as to how this will go. Lorelei is always tough. Bruno could actually be challenging because his fighting types are super effective against us. Agatha is always annoying. Lance has Intimidate, and so does the champion. This will be tough. I think I'll need to be in the late 90s to win this, but let's see. We are at a surprisingly low level, all things considered. I'm looking at my stats before I take on the Elite Four at level 62. We got great speed, but everything else is underwhelming. Our attack hasn't even reached 100 yet. Whatever, I have rare candies, so let's do this. One last push. First is Lorelei. Not surprisingly, that did not go well. Return did less than half, and Dugong hit Surf for fairly big damage. I tried Secret Power, and it brought her down to yellow health. She used Hail, and I finish her off the next turn, but we're still taking damage because of Hail. Next is Cloyster, and this is very annoying. Basically, she just spams Protect whenever she could as we took Hail damage. We couldn't do much. No matter how much we tried, it took us down in the end. Yup, we are leveling up. This is how a typical attempt goes at level 65. We can two-shot Dugong, but Hail is so annoying. Cloyster is next, and I immediately set up a substitute, and it just used Spikes, despite the fact that I have only one Pokemon. It continues the same Protect and Stall strategy. It fails the second Protect, and we use Secret Power to whittle it down. At one point, it successfully used Protect twice in a row, because of course it did. But with a bit of patience, we slowly brought it down, and with some paralysis luck, we beat Cloyster with our substitute intact. Next is Slowbro, and we hit Shadow Ball to bring it down to half health, but it used Surf to take out the substitute. We use Shadow Ball again, but the opponent survives with about 1 HP, and then took us down with Ice Beam. I don't think we are even close. Let's try level 70. Level 70. We are still not even close. Dugong and Cloyster go pretty much the same way. I'll just skip to Slowbro. We are about half health and continue to take damage from Hail. We hit him with a Shadow Ball just like last time. She knocked out our substitute using Surf. Then one more Shadow Ball did the job. We reached Lapras for the first time, and I try using Return for better damage than what I was expecting. Unfortunately, it just finishes us off with Surf. I've tried this a few times. I need to level up again. Hopefully, 75 is enough. 75. This is our best attempt so far in almost 30 different attempts. This is despite the fact that we reached Lapras with only 53 health this time. I used Secret Power hoping for paralysis. I didn't get it. It used Ice Beam. We somehow survived with only 3 HP. I tried Secret Power again. This time got the paralysis, And it broke through and finishes off with Surf. We are so close, I know we are. If I can just beat Lapras, I am very confident I can one-shot Jinx. Let's try level 80. This should be the one, right? Level 80, a few attempts in, and we reach Lapras with 101 HP, our highest in a while. I use Secret Power, immediately get the paralysis, then he stayed paralyzed. Awesome start. I used the move again, and this time brought her down to what looked like potion range. Luckily, it used its health Citrus Berry to get out of it, and it got paralyzed again. A return finished the job, and last was Jinx, and the very second we outsped, I knew we would win because Jinx is just so frail. Finally, we can move on. I don't know how Bruno is gonna go, but let's give it a try. It can't be as bad as this, right? First attempt, and I immediately used Substitute to avoid having our speed drop with Rock Tomb. I wasn't sure how to approach this fight, so I started off with Secret Power, immediately getting the paralysis. He hit us with Rock Tomb as we switched to Return. He hit us with an Earthquake to get rid of our Substitute, so we set it up again and go back to chipping away at him until it faded again. Unfortunately, he ended up in healing range and just used a potion. I go for Secret Power again. This time we get a crit, but no paralysis. I use another one which crits again and brings it to the red. Paralyzes, but of course, breaks through and hits us with Earthquake. Luckily, Onix's attack is absolutely pathetic. It didn't do much, so we just finished him off with Return. Next was Hitmonchan, and we just barely missed out the KO, so it just hits us with Sky Uppercut to take us out. You know what? I bet if we gain a couple of levels, I can get past Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee should be an easy one-shot, but I am not sure of Machamp. Level 82, we get an attempt where we reach Hitmonchan with much more health than before. We hit him with Return, and again it survives with just about 1 HP, but he used Rock Tomb instead of a fighting move for some reason. He used Full Restore, and I hit Return again for more or less the same damage, then we finished him off. Hitmonlee was a one-shot as expected, but then came out Machamp. Return did great damage, but it just knocked us out from green health with Cross Chop. I think I will need to get to level 85 to one-shot Hitmonchan. Maybe then we take less damage and can take out Machamp. Level 85. We are now strong enough to one-shot Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee was still easy, and next was Machamp. For the first time, we managed to reach him with our substitute intact. I hit Return for great damage, and instead of hitting me with a fighting type move, he went for Bulk Up. His Citrus Berry activated, but it didn't matter. We just finished him off immediately. His second Onix comes out, and I went for Secret Power, but no luck with Paralysis. Our substitute faded once it hit Earthquake. I used Secret Power again to no luck. He hit us with Earthquake, which didn't do that much damage. Unfortunately, third time was not the charm, and the third Secret Power did not paralyze. It didn't matter, however, and after tanking another Earthquake, seriously Onix, your attack is pathetic, we hit Return to finish him off. I expected much worse. Agatha is next though, and she is always a tough fight, even with Shadow Ball. Let's see how it goes. Okay, just watch this. I knew Agatha loved using status moves, so I immediately set up a substitute. His first Gengar used Double Team, but it didn't matter. One Shadow Ball was enough. Next is Golbat, so we used Return to bring him down to red health, and it just used Confuse Ray while my substitute was up. It healed, but 2 more attacks knocked it out, no problem. Next is Arbok, which narrowly survives Return, only to end up using Screech. 1 more attack, finish it off. Second Gengar is out, and we one-shot it with a critical Shadow Ball, and then Haunter was last, and then went down with 1 Shadow Ball. This was the first attempt, by the way. Agatha threw that fight by making boneheaded decisions. She did not damage us even once. Lance, and this is how most attempts go. We start off with secret power and we get a lucky paralysis. Gyarados just uses Dragon Rage in return. We use secret power again and a crit knocked him out. This exact scenario happened several times, by the way. Next is Aerodactyl, and watch this. I immediately set up a substitute after learning he likes to open with Scary Face. Then we use secret power and get another lucky crit. Then he used Scary Face again and again and again and again. In fact, he did not attack once and just kept spamming Scary Face with my substitute up. Meanwhile, we just kept chipping away at him for a good 2 to 3 minutes until we take him down without him putting up a fight. Substitute must make the AI go crazy in this game for some reason. Anyway, next he brings out Dragonite and I start off by using secret power. He uses Safeguard, meaning he won't get paralyzed for a while. We hit return for solid damage, only to get hit with a crit outrage to get rid of our substitute, and he healed with a citrus berry. I went with return again hoping for a crit, but we didn't get it, and he hits us with outrage again to bring us down to just 45 health. One more return does the job, but we were in a bad position. His first Dragonair came out, we hit return, no crits, and he finishes off with outrage. You know what? Not a bad attempt. I was really lucky just to get this far, so I think I will need to be at level 90 to one-shot the Dragonairs. Let's give it a go. Okay, level 90. It took me a couple of attempts to get back to Dragonite due to some bad luck in the beginning, but in this run, Gyarados and Aerodactyl went the same as before, even though we ended up with less HP this time. We just hit a return, and it immediately crit Dragonite for a one-shot. Next was his first Dragonair. Return is still not a one-shot, though it brings them to the red. It just used Outrage while my substitute was up, and it held on. Dragonair was locked into the move, meaning Lance couldn't heal, and we could take it out. Then came his second Dragonair. We hit return to bring him to the red, and it just used Thunder Wave with my substitute up, which of course did nothing. He healed with full restore, but 2 more attacks did the job anyway, and we beat Lance. This was not too bad. Next is a champion battle though, and I have no idea how that's gonna go. I hope I don't need to be level 100 to win this one. Pokemon champion fight. It starts off great with Pidgeot going down to 1 return and 1 secret power. All it did was hit us with 1 aerial ace. Next was Alakazam, and it was an easy one shot with return. Then it was Executor, and I immediately used Substitute, predicting a status move. It worked, and Sleep Powder failed. 2 Shadow Balls knocked it out, while all it does was use 1 more Sleep Powder for some reason. Next was Rhydon, and I started with Shadow Ball to check how much damage it would do. I continued to chip away at him. All he did was spam Scary Face over and over again until it went down. Next was Gyarados, no attack drop due to substitute. And then we one-shot Gyarados immediately thanks to a crit. Nice. Finally, it was Charizard. I hit him with return. He retaliates with a Fire Blast that broke our substitute. His Citrus Berry recovers some of his health, but it did not matter. 1 more return did the job for an easy first try against the Pokemon champion. That was a weird run. It was a very difficult start followed by a really easy mid game and then a brutal end game, except for the Pokemon champion. I still had a lot of fun, and I'll try to do these Pokemon challenges around maybe once a month. I don't know what or even when my next video is. I'm planning on doing something spooky, but I am just not sure yet. Until then, I shall wander on to the next adventure.